For an evening full of blood and guts, there sure were a lot of shots to the nuts. Welcome to the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. Of course, it's the only wrestling podcast you can find online. It's hosted by myself, Cameron Osborne. It's also hosted by Mike the Shoot Shepherd.
Blood!
He said it right there. The moment the months... What is this, almost a year in the making now?
Maybe
more. Maybe even more. 14 months in the making, AEW. AEW. I said ANW.
Good brand.
Good brand. Present Blood and Guts live from Daly's Place. Of course, that's all the AEW action we have for this week, but we have all the rest of the stuff. We've got NXT. We've got Monday Night Raw. We've got SmackDown Live. And all of those great things that we have. And no pay-per-view this weekend.
No.
Wow.
We got this week off, but...
This week off? Of course, we still have a few more shows before WrestleMania Backlash. Nothing on the NXT slate, I don't believe, in terms of pay-per-views or anything like that. And, of course, at the end of May, Double or Nothing.
Yeah, we got a couple announcements for that, so it's starting to come together there.
Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of fun.
Which, yes, they're the flagship show over there down in Jacksonville. But before we do all of that, usually we do kick off the show with the tweet of the week. However, sometimes, as you know, if the tweet of the week is pertinent to certain things that may occur throughout the week, we'll kind of push the tweet of the week back until we get to that sort of moment there. So you will be getting it. There will be a brand new tweet of the week champion, but we'll cover it in a little bit. So without further ado, why don't we just kick off our wrestling week, shall we? Let's move over to a brand that's not only blue, but a brand where... I have the top. I gotta say, the brand with the top champion. There, I said it. I can't think of a more dominant champion right now, short of Kenny Omega, out there. I cannot pick one dude who is stronger in the world of professional wrestling right now than the man. His name is Roman Reigns, and he leads our favorite television program. It is SmackDown Live. Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for SmackDown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait. We used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just SmackDown Live.
The blue brand.
And we already announced before 8 p.m. even clicked. We already knew there was going to be an Intercontinental Championship match between Apollo Crews and Big E.
Yeah, and even more than that, there's going to be a Universal title match, which is, I think this might be Roman Reigns' first match in general on SmackDown since coming back.
Short of that Christmas steel cage match, which, also a spectacle of its own. This is the only kind of singles championship match Roman Reigns had on television, but not only is it just a single, it's not just a normal singles match.
I guess, Daniel Bryan's SmackDown career's on the line.
It is a career versus title match. Career versus streak, whatever you want to call it. Roman Reigns is certainly on a streak, though. We'll get to all of that. Certainly that will be our main event. But this week, to kick off SmackDown, we do actually kick off the show this week with our women's champion, Bianca Belair.
I'm on my own. And she's got she's got her championship and some nice big replica earrings. I like those that she was wearing. Little title belts.
Big, yeah. Where can we get those? At WWEshop.com.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. But when she goes to speak, she gets interrupted by Rude and Ziggler, of all people. They cut her off, but then Street Profits come out. They get at the Dirty Dogs. So Bayley comes out. She gets in the ring. Starts laughing at Bianca, slaps her. It's a big brawl erupts. So, we're going to get this mixed tag match here.
Sounds about right to me. I mean, it all kind of works right there.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just happy to see Bayley fighting again. She took a big break there during WrestleMania season.
In and around Mania. And what really surprised me about Bayley, I mean, she has, I think last week they announced that she was going to get the match at WrestleMania Backlash.
Yes.
But the whole ding-dong hello thing really didn't land as well as I think we maybe thought it might have.
I mean, I certainly liked it.
Yeah, but, I thought it was fine. In terms of, how talk show segments go, I was like, this is just fine for me. There are no women who lead talk show segments. And of course we have the Kevin Owens show. Of course we got Sami Zayn sometimes. Of course we got the Peep Show.
Miz has 2 shows.
Miz has 2 shows.
The Dirt Sheet, Miz TV. I can't tell the difference.
Miz and Mrs. I don't know what's going on anymore. But yeah, but for some reason Bailey, her show didn't land. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still like her catchphrase, but we've only really had like 2 episodes of Ding Dong Hello. So.
Yeah, and then we've had her use her catchphrase more than there have been episodes of the thing the catchphrase came from.
Yeah.
Weird,
Yeah. Anyways, the match itself was fine. The big moment for me was Belair doing her big hair whip onto the back of Rude, but was not as spectacular as the Sasha one.
Yeah, there wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah,
like
it was
the
just
other
a little.
one.
But he sells it well. He's screaming. He's in agony. So Dawkins hits the anointment, tags in Ford, who hits a slight variation. This time he did like a springboard before doing the from the heavens frog splash to get the win. And every time I see it, man, that slow-mo replay, that frog splash is
he adds a couple inches on, like,
every time. He's just in
every
the gym.
week he adds an inch to that vertical, to the point
one day he's just gonna not come back down. He's just gonna leave orbit.
Jumping out of the building at this point. Yeah, this was just fine, like you said. WWE, they thrive on these sorts of multi-person tag matches. We see them every week. Sometimes 3, sometimes 2, sometimes, and it always seems to work. Does Bayley feel any more of a threat to Bianca Belair? Probably not. But is it inevitable that Street Profits take down the Dirty Dogs?
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
I mean, hopefully.
Yeah.
We've been saying that about Nia and Shayna for months, but.
Speaking of.
Yeah. Speaking of, they get interviewed backstage when Nia and Tamina come back or attack them from behind to get the upper hand. Because they're jumping right into this tag match here. So they're really beating around the bush with this feud, because this is a non-title match. And, of course, Reggie's interfering and distracting, but she knocks him down, and then she hits Baszler with the Superfly Splash, gets the 3 count. So surely now they got to get a title shot and hopefully just win the damn things already.
I hate non-title matches. I hate them. I really do. Because
especially
I feel in this sort of situation, when a slimy, cowardly piece of shit heel somehow does his, slithering to create the non-title match, fantastic. Love it. Because that's kind of your way to be shitty and slimy and still maybe take a
I'll
lot.
fight you, but not for this.
Exactly. But Nia and Tamina, I don't remember that being introduced in that kind of way. It was just like ding ding ding, the following is a non-title match.
Yeah.
Which
and then we had a random title match on Raw, which made even less sense.
So bizarre. What are they doing here? Yeah, because like I said, I thought they were gonna drop the hammer or drop the. What do we drop in a positive way? Because dropping the ball is bad. What can you drop that's good?
Drop the beat.
I thought they were going to drop the beat on Natalya and Tamina taking this over at WrestleMania Night 2, but it just fucking never happened. So now we've had a month of rematches.
Yeah, hopefully Backlash, but I'm not. I've said that before, so I'm not.
You've said that before, Mike, and
every time they defend the titles.
But certainly, I think they've run their course. It's funny. It's Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler definitely run their course as champions, but Natalya and Tamina don't feel like the team to dethrone them still.
No, they just kind of threw them together, and now they're the ones. I don't know. They obviously don't give a shit about the Riot Squad, so.
Nobody gives. I think nobody gives a shit.
Don't
about the
say that.
division.
The fans do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The fans.
When they were in WrestleMania for like those 3 or 4 minutes, they got a couple pops.
Yeah, I think they might have had a couple eliminations in that time also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we get another vignette from Mr. Magoo, Aleister Black, with his giant Jim Cornette glasses on.
Goddamn. That's my.
He's just reading from his book, the Dark. I forget it was some book of Dark Tales or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Candlelit room. I don't know. At
Classic
this point,
Aleister Black reading creepy literature from a dark room.
They do enough of the hype. Just get in the ring. They always do this. They do too many vignettes. I just want to see him wrestle.
Well, this is now 2 weeks of it.
Yeah, but they've done this.
Well, especially because it feels like it's 2 weeks of the vignettes after 6 months of him not in the ring. So it kind of feels like...
And then 6 months before that of vignettes.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm ready. I'm just ready.
Y'all remember Aleister Black, Bobby Lashley, WrestleMania 36, never forget that match.
I already have.
Yeah.
But Apollo Crews defends that Intercontinental title against Biggie. Nice big man, back and forth match here. And even though they're big, they do some big spots. The moonsault to the floor, Death Valley driver on the apron. Crews is in control, looks to finish off Big E, but he counters, hits the big ending, goes for the pin, but then Commander Aziz pulls E out of the ring, throws him into the ring post, so we got a DQ. But then Owens comes out after, attacks Aziz, and then Sammy comes out, everyone's brawling. The heels stand tall, but then Aziz... says you're not with us, and he hits Sammy with the Nigerian nail. The
Nigerian nail, perfect alliteration for a finishing maneuver. It's pretty much just a choke slam, right? Or
no, it's the thumb to the throat.
Thumb to the throat. That's what it is. Yeah.
But he doesn't even tape his thumb. You're gonna jam your thumb one day and break it.
Yeah. So Aziz, this Aziz guy. Dabakunte, champion
Dabakeo.
of Raw Underground, whatever we want to call him, clearly meant to be the heater for Apollo Crews over here, right? Clearly meant to be this guy. But I feel as though
He's no Omos to me.
No Omos. Nobody is Omos to me.
Nobody.
But this Aziz guy, his presence pretty much just ensures a cheap finish. And
he's a little goofy looking, I know he's wearing the uniform with the tasseled shoulders.
Because it's not practical. He's not wearing something practical, so it looks odd. It's like when you see somebody, it's like when you see somebody wearing very really big pajamas at the grocery store.
Yeah,
it's you can fucking do it, but you look strange doing it.
Going back to Omos, everything he wears looks natural. It's like his wardrobe.
It looks natural. It looks intimidating.
Yeah.
But which just feels like I would hate for because Apollo Crews can put on a great match. I would hate for his great matches to be kind of turned down a little bit just because Aziz comes in with the cheap finish. And I don't like Aziz. It makes me think of Aziz Ansari. So anytime I say it, I'm just like, why? We're just fucking different. We could Dabba Kato was fine. He could still have been Dabba Kato. But having Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens here suggests maybe a fatal 4-way coming up next weekend, possibly at WrestleMania Backlash. And with those four that's a lot of talent in a ring if that can happen.
Yeah, I'd rather have that than another, Big E Apollo singles match. So let's do that.
Yeah, very much so. It works, and it kind of keeps, buys time for Apollo Crews before the next step.
Whatever that may be.
I just certainly don't know.
Then we get this promo from King Corbin, and he did not look like a king at all. He looked like dad on vacation, Corbin. He was wearing this flowery, Hawaiian shirt and a big brimmed fedora. Oh, this was a different look for him.
So I gotta say though, this is real life Corbin. I do kind of, every so often see what he's up to on Instagram. He's always barbecuing, and watching people barbecue is my new thing to watch.
Is it because you can't? So you're like, I wish.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, because I see it I can't wait. Just wait till I have a backyard. Would you be allowed to have a
barbecue on your balcony?
No, we've checked.
It's against regs?
Yeah, exactly. So I just think to myself, one day I'm gonna have this backyard and I'm gonna cook just and he wears those cool black latex gloves when he's handling the meat and stuff. I'm like, oh god, Baron Corbin.
So you can just pick it up in the flame.
You just fucking pick it up. I'm like, picking up a steak, picking up a steak or something. But yeah, that's exactly it. This is great for a couple reasons. I mean, dropping the King gimmick, which we felt like maybe
that's what I want. Yeah,
has run its course, and then while also that's kind of a two-sided thing. He drops the King gimmick, meaning that maybe it's time for somebody else to pick it up. King of the Ring 2021.
I'd be all for that. So hopefully this is a sign. Put down the crown, bring on the fedora.
Put down the crown. However,
would you call it a fedora?
Yeah, I think that is a fedora. It's like a straw hat
big
fedora.
brimmed. Yeah.
Yeah. However, though, I just want to get all of it out of the way because he did reappear on SmackDown. His 2 brand-to-brand invitational appearances will stand. When he appeared on Monday Night Raw a couple times to help out Bobby Lashley, and now we see him reemerge on SmackDown. He is now on SmackDown. Just so you know.
Yeah, him and Lashley, they really never mentioned that again.
Never. Absolutely never.
Yeah. But let us move to the main event, the match we've all been waiting for. The big dog, Roman Reigns, defending that Universal title against Daniel Bryan, who has put his SmackDown career on the line in this match.
That makes it important. So Roman Reigns walks down to the ring. So you know what time that means? It means it's... Or
is it?
For a half decade now. At least maybe. I'd say maybe even more. The WWE Universe has kept a synonymous sound. Whether it was, a tonal exploration, whether it was prefaced with Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta, or we removed that, right? The big dog has always been defined by that heavy guitar chords. There's like 6 guitars layered up on there.
Yeah, for 3 chords.
Darn it. Not anymore. Not anymore, Mike. Roman Reigns comes down to new music, finally.
Finally.
Yes.
The last remnant, he had the bulletproof vest, he had the entrance through the crowd, he had the music, but he's finally ditched the Shield. He's finally pure Roman Reigns, the big dog, the tribal chief. And I dig it. Yeah, it was more, obviously it was more evil sounding, like a final boss video game type of thing.
It really felt like the final boss that you play. Yeah, I got that kind of vibe too.
Yeah, so I like it. Thumbs up. But yeah, anyways, let's get to this hot main event. The Thunderdome crowd was buzzing. They got to go about 20 minutes here. Bryan working over Reigns, looking for that yes lock. But the Chief is just going blow to blow. One of the first big moves, they hit like a super power bomb off the second rope there. Always fun. But yeah, then they fight to the floor. Reigns comes charging at Bryan with the spear, but he avoids that. So Reigns crashes through the barricade. And then back in the ring, Bryan hits the running knee. So he could win the match here, but Roman manages to get a foot on the rope at the count of 2. But then he gets the yes lock applied. Reigns gets out of that, hits the spear, but then Bryan kicks out of that, gets the yes lock on again, but then Roman manages to fight out once more, and then he just mounts Bryan and just starts punching him, raining these heavy blows down on him, followed by some more big power bombs, and then finally he locks in the guillotine, and Bryan passes out. Reigns retains the title.
He passes out.
Yeah. And he's banished from SmackDown as a result. So
banished. He's banished.
He's gone.
Not even allowed in the front door.
Nope. So who knows what this means? He's going to be off TV, or is he going to show up in NXT? Who knows?
I mean, the world's his oyster. Of course, after the match, I think Roman Reigns kept on being down Daniel Bryan. I think Cesaro was the one who made the save, and then Jey Uso made the double save.
Yeah, and then
and then a series of concertos.
Ensued. As they tied Cesaro up in the ropes and just made him watch as Bryan had his brains scrambled with the concerto. Wow. And then it was kind of weird the way it ended. It just kind of cut off real early, like they were pressed for time.
Yeah, usually they do that nice kind of like still camera fade to black. This was kind of like cut.
It was
black.
like Cesaro was still kind of in peril, and Reigns was like yelling at him. Was he going to hit him? Was he going to get out? I don't know.
Remember that one time where I think it was an episode of Raw ended with somebody tied up in the ropes and just taking... No, I think it was SmackDown. I think it was Murphy tied up in the ropes and the entire Mysterio family was just laying down shots on him.
Yeah, they're beating it. They're like, we're going to come back next week.
I was like, I want to come back next week, and they're still doing it. That would be, just really kind of keep that. I would love this week's SmackDown. Cesaro still could be tied up.
Could be.
Yeah. What else is there to say, though? I mean, not only a clean victory for the head of the table, the tribal chief, right? You know, I mean, there was no Uso interference during the match.
Yeah.
Right, and that's huge. But yeah, just another fucking. This got to be another WWE match of the year already. I mean, I feel this Roman tear that he's on is insane.
Yeah, and Roman Cesaro, that's going to be fantastic as well.
Yep, Roman Cesaro is the next thing. We're all in with the big dog. And now he'll just elevate Cesaro. He'll probably beat him, but he's going to elevate him.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match either way. Potential main event for Cesaro. That's a big deal. Main eventing a pay-per-view in a singles match, so let's see it.
Yeah, that is a big deal. And that was SmackDown. What a fantastic not end to the show, but also possibly a fantastic end to Daniel Bryan's, maybe the end of Daniel Bryan's in-ring career, at least on a full-time basis.
Full-time, yeah. And there was lots of hot rumors online that his contract legitimately ended on that day of that SmackDown, April 30th last week. So he is technically a free agent. Although all signs point to him being a WWE,
lifer,
part-time, legend contract, turn into a backstage agent after type of deal. The Fit Finlay route.
Yeah, the old Fit Finlay route. No, that's it. You can't fucking risk it if you're anybody, right?
His wife's in WWE. They're on good terms. She's got a reality show. So,
like the second you leave, you never come back. Right? That sort of feels like the way it could be.
It's up to... No, a lot of times Vince will bring you back just to humiliate you.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't want that for Daniel Bryan. Or maybe I should say, if you go somewhere else, you'll probably never come back.
I don't know. Depends.
Yeah, he would really have to like you for that.
Yeah. But let's move on.
Let's move on. Before we move on, though, we are having our Monday Night Raw, but I believe it is time for us to crown a new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. Mike, because you said it yourself, the internet was ablaze with his contract is legitimately over. He is a free agent. Hell, I even saw things that said there's no 90-day non-compete in his contract.
No, he wasn't released. It just ended.
Just ended. The contract is over. He can do whatever he wants. So we're going to bring it back to this week's brand new Tweet of the Week champion for his second time. His name is Daniel Bryan, because the internet's a fun place. And the nerds out there, they're always backlogging the information. Remember, you can get called out on your tweets 15 years later if you're a guy like Kevin Hart, or 11 years later if you're a guy like Daniel Bryan, because on May 2nd, 2010, Daniel Bryan tweeted, "Feeling great and flying to Jacksonville. Wonder what's in store for us this week." And yeah, way to go, Twitter community, for finding that tweet again. Because of course, that's going to be the next hot rumor. Is Daniel Bryan, will he start making trips to Jacksonville on a more regular basis? I don't know. He's a free agent.
He is, but there's two brands in Florida, so who knows what he's going there for.
Two brands in Florida and nothing anywhere else.
Yeah.
No, it was great. Congratulations, Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
Yes. We're moving on through the week, shall we? Let's go to where all the beef is. Let's go over to Monday Night Raw.
Let's get raw. Let's get raw.
Yeah, I mean, meat is red, or beef is red, so the red brand here. Makes sense. And it was the week of coin flips. We had the coin flip on Dynamite for Blood and Guts, and here on Raw, we're going to have a coin flip backstage to see who Lashley faces tonight. And then it ends up being Strowman. So, hey. That's exciting. Not. But then finally, after a long month of waiting, we get the big return of the new Raw Tag Champs, AJ Styles and Omos. And they just get on the mic, cut a promo about their big win, and AJ just says, yeah, we've been celebrating off the coast of the Caribbean, and yeah, I'm a Grand Slam champ now. But then the New Day come out to interrupt. They go back and forth on the mic, and they decide to settle it in the ring. And the titles are on the line. We're getting a tag title match here.
Wow.
Like that. Yeah, that's nice. So Omos, he actually gets in the ring early this time, and New Day's trying to take him down, but he's just brushing off their attacks. AJ gets in later, and the big moment for me was Kofi hits the crazy trust fall, but AJ barely caught him. He just pretty much jumped backwards onto the floor off the top.
And it was like, I hope you're going to be there, bud.
Yeah, and that's the trust fall. But so the New Day, they team up on AJ until Omos tags back in. He hits the big choke bomb, and then AJ jumps off his shoulders to hit the phenomenal forearm. And gets a 3 count. They retain their titles.
And I guess that's the new finish. The forearm off of Omos.
Yeah.
That's the new finish.
Undefeated, Mr. Omos.
Yeah.
2-0.
Which, I mean, he's doing better than Nicholas. Gotta say, in terms of having your first match at WrestleMania, then moving on into the future, he is, he's one better than Nicholas. So we got to really support that. And I guess they just got to have him keep improving.
Yeah, build another challenger. They can't fight New Day every time, so.
No. Who else is no, well, we are building more challengers, right? We have the Vikings.
That's true.
The Viking Raiders are back. Wasn't there another team?
Bros.
The RK Bros is back. So
Yeah.
maybe there's
All
a
right,
little more flame to this Raw tag fire than we thought.
Hopefully. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We need it.
It's been a while.
Then we cut backstage where Charlotte and Sonya Deville are finishing up this conversation, and Adam Pearce asks her what's about, and she just like, nothing you got to worry about, little man. He gets angry. He's like, hey, you're overstepping your boundaries. You're getting way out of line here. So some tension. But I like this side of Sonya. Don't fuck around. You don't give a shit.
Yeah, a little heel Sonya, which is a nice kind of counterpart to Adam Pearce. Who knows? Maybe that's the big match that we're waiting for: Sonya Deville versus Adam Pearce.
Then we get a commercial to hype up this coming week's edition of Throwback Friday Night SmackDown, which could be cool.
Yeah,
Some old
so
school
we're gonna get a
graphics.
SmackDown with like the old font, maybe that big fist.
Maybe the old set. I would love if they brought the fist out. They keep it in a big warehouse somewhere.
At least they're doing it. Remember when they tried to do the old school Monday Night Raw on that Raw 25, and then everybody hated it, and
was
the
a
Undertaker
disaster.
showed up for half a second? Like, it's nice that they're doing it and not charging people. Like,
Yeah, so hopefully. They. I remember hearing that SmackDown fist, it took 2 trucks just to carry that damn thing from the arena.
Really?
To arena. They hated it, but it was such a part of the set that they
I
kept
bet.
it.
Well, I bet what's so funny now, they could probably make it, 12 times lighter and more efficient.
Exactly.
Now
Back
it's just
then,
like a set of
solid fucking metal.
Yeah, now it's just like a set of prosthetics you put together like a dinosaur in Jurassic
You
Park.
3D print it and put it together. And
Yeah, Vince owns a big 3D printer. He owns one of the biggest 3D printers in the world.
yeah. But then we get this hype video for the return of Eva Marie, who's very controversial, but personally one of my favorite cast members from Total Divas, the early seasons.
So wait, it's nothing to do with her in-ring performance, more of her performance on a
well.
reality show.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Do you know much about her?
Well, I mean, no.
Or did you just see the online vitriol?
I didn't know. I didn't see anything online about her being a terrible person.
Not a terrible person, just not that great a wrestler.
Okay, yes, I did see the not great a wrestler thing.
Yeah, no, she's a good. That's why I like her. She's a good person. I think she'll be like Lana. She'll work hard. Hopefully, she can improve.
Yeah, hopefully improve.
But I mean, she's obviously hired for her looks. They love her. She was just
And-
there posing on a Ferrari.
Yeah, that's what sucks, and that's what to me I don't quite get. And maybe like NXT is incredible at building new female performers. Building them up from nothing and making them something. I mean, Io Shirai's rise to prominence was incredible. Or Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to ask us last year, will she be champion by this time next year? Like, absolutely not. She's just kind of there. But they turn her into something special, right? And just for Raw to lose, like, the Iconics we lost who else? Chelsea Green.
Yeah,
Like
James.
Mickey James. Well, I wouldn't include Mickey James in this. What I'm just because she was already an established person.
Oh,
right.
yes.
But like we had. I think between the Iconics and Chelsea Green, we had 3 women who we could build up very well. Let's do it.
Yeah, I would have kept those 3
for it. But we got this star from years ago because why? Is it a ratings thing? Like people see Eva Marie, they're like, yeah, I'm going to watch now because who the hell is Peyton Royce?
Well, yeah, I will say one thing. Eva Marie, she is a heat magnet. She gets good reaction. A lot of boos. Like people hate her.
Is she gonna? She's going to get a good reaction from a fake crowd noise.
No, I mean by the time she starts actually wrestling, hopefully crowds will be back.
Okay.
I think she'll just do this for a couple of months and not even hit the ring.
Yeah, this one just kind of bugs me because we just saw so many great women be released from the company, and then it's like, oh great, so we could premiere like one from a long time ago. I don't know.
The evolution is coming.
Fantastic. So. I can wait. I'm
one of the only people that I'm. Yeah.
I guess you're excited. I guess you're excited for it. Well, I
just want to see where it goes. I want to see if she's improved.
Well, that's the thing. I want to see you. She's gonna have to be at least as good as Peyton Royce. She's gonna have
I'd say
be at least as good as the person they just let go, right?
I think she's gonna be as good as Lana was 18 months ago.
Oh fuck me!
So get ready for that.
Oh Jesus Christ! Get ready for more shitty women's action on the main roster. Perfect! I can't wait.
We'll see. But I'm glad we got that in there. Then we go backstage where the New Day are recovering from their loss. So Elias and Riker sneak up on them with a basket of tomatoes and just start chucking them. But then they stop and realize that they've hit Randy Orton, who just kind of walked in the line of fire and stood there. And he looks pissed. He's tomatoed. Yeah.
WWE, the only storylines we can keep going are tomatoes. Tomato throwing is the only legit. Remember when we had Viking Raiders 2 weeks in a row? Not on this show, though.
Nope.
Weird, eh?
Not this week.
Yeah.
But we did get Charlotte Flair taking on Dana Brooke. And, Charlotte just doing her aggressive heel thing. Brooke gets a couple nice moves in. Swanton bomb for a 2 count. And then she's doing her handspring thing. But then as she's doing the handspring, Charlotte just chop blocks her leg out midair. And then puts in the figure 8 to get the submission win. But then she doesn't release the hold after, so Mandy Rose comes in, just drop kicks Charlotte's off, follows up with the big C trigger, and then she goes to help up Dana when Sonya Deville comes out. And she announces that she has allowed Charlotte to make a proposal. So Charlotte gets on the mic and says Asuka's facing Ripley for the title, and I'm left out. So she complains about some shit, not being on Backlash, and tells Sonya, be fair to Flair. So DeVille says, well, since the men are having a triple threat for the WWE title, Charlotte, I'm adding you to the match. So Rhea Ripley comes out and says she's not having this crap. Nobody likes you, Charlotte. Asuka comes out and she says this is bull crap. Calls Charlotte a little baby. And Charlotte claps back. Anyways, they all start fighting. And Asuka's the one who stands tall at the end of it.
Well, someone has to stand tall. Someone has to stand tall at the end of it. You know what? I think it is less. I think I've kind of come to this conclusion where we always ask ourselves, Charlotte showing up and getting a title shot is one of the like water is also wet. We know it's going to happen, and maybe one of the most predictable things that always happens. But I think it's because they can't book a second women's feud.
I think it's because they want Charlotte in every match.
No, certainly, right? But like, why not have Charlotte in a non-title match that has a good build against a good performer that ends up being a good match? Like that seems simple. I mean, didn't we see Candice LeRae and Mia Yim put on a banger, and it wasn't even for a title?
No, they can. They just don't want Charlotte doing anything that's not for the title.
But then I feel like if we look one step further, there is no second women's feud on Monday Night Raw. It's title or bust. There's no middle thing that actually has, some like passion put into it, some thinking put into it, and then so we always only end up with one women's feud, which is the title scene.
Yeah, I mean, we did have that Lacey Charlotte pregnancy thing, but the pregnancy ruined it.
It's time to move on. Time to move on. Lacey Evans.
Hey, I was fine with the singles match. I want Charlotte doing something else, so I don't know.
Yeah, that would be great. But who would be that kind of fourth or fifth competitor there in that women's mid-card right now? I feel like we just let them go. I feel like we just let the best one go.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, which is really weird. I mean, hell, just a couple weeks ago, we saw Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa take on each other, one of the best matches of the year, for nothing.
Yeah.
It was not for a title. Like, it is possible to put two women in the ring and have them do something not with any, with just pride at stake. They just choose not to.
Yep, that's pretty much it. And then we go backstage where Humberto Carrillo is interviewed, and then Sheamus just beats him up. So they'll fight later.
so they'll go at it later.
Yeah. But then we see Adam Pearce coming in and yelling at Sonya Deville for what she did out there, and threatens her with going to a higher authority because she's beyond abuse of power. So she apologizes, but they have a little stare down.
Yeah, Pearce Deville.
Mm-hmm. Book
it.
Then John Morrison takes on Damian Priest. The match was okay. Miz jumps in, but Priest overcomes the distraction and hits the lights to get the win. So they're still going at it.
They're still going at it. I had a feeling John Morrison might have been hurt the past little while. He just so he might just kind of be getting back into things. But yeah, just another one of these post-Mania feuds that's dragging on too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then we go backstage where the man with the 49-match win streak, Mansoor, he is signing an official Raw contract with Adam Pearce. So, Sheamus walks in, just cracks wise, and proposes that he accept his open challenge tonight. So just like this, Mansoor is on Raw.
We were just talking about him last week, I think, how he has been accumulating this silent winning streak on NXT and 205 Live. And
hasn't lost since 2019.
The Saudi Arabia shows he's always in. I'm sure he's a main event stud.
Yeah. So we'll get to that later. But Cedric and Shelton are taking on the Lucha House Party. So... it's a bad sign for them.
Bad sign for everybody involved, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and even worse for Cedric and Shelton because Metalik hits his little rope walk elbow drop, gets the win. So their burial just continues. They're below Mason T-Bar at this point. But
yeah, at this point, who knows? Maybe the masks will go on soon. They'll have to hide their face. Maybe just a paper bag over them or something.
Yeah, well, Cedric's had enough. He gets on the microphone and calls out Shelton, says, "You're the weak link. I'm in the prime of my life, and I refuse to waste another second keeping yours alive." So this team is done.
Must be. Oh, also, the one thing I think I noted here, did the match start during the break?
It may have. We just came back and it was
I'm pretty sure.
on.
Yeah, we came. It was just came back from break. Fade from black, and it was just going on. All right. I
think they did us a favor. I guess.
Yeah, thank God.
Cut out the extra.
Yeah, cut out the entrance times.
We go backstage where Drew Gulak insults Angel Garza and his rose. So Garza says, "Yeah, well, I'll shove this rose up your ass."
Woo!
And just you wait. Just you wait. He might just do that. So let's do that. Angel Garza takes on Drew Gulak, which in itself is a very rare sight to see these two guys on Raw, let alone in a singles match. So, hey, let's see what they can do. But it only lasts a couple minutes. Garza just comes out aggressive, beats down Drew, hits the wing clipper to get the dominant win. But he wasn't done there, because then he grabs the rose, shoves it down the backs of Garza's trunks, and then gives him a big running kick in the ass. So he really did shove the flower up there like he said he would. Which is, that's got Vince McMahon written all over.
Oh, that's some good shit right there. That is good shit if anything has ever been good shit.
Yeah, flower up the ass. Who would have thought? Then we go to Riddle, who's riding around on a scooter. And he sees his buddy Randy, who's all pissed off from that tomato attack. And he says he doesn't have time for the bro talk. So he just gets him to zip it so they can go out there and have a match. So we get Riddle, Orton taking on Elias, Riker. Yeah, pretty decent. Everything's going well. Randy gets the hot tag, unleashes the Viper, beats up Elias, and then he sets him up for that draping DDT. But then he looks over, and this time Orton is the one who reaches out for the tag. So he's coming around a bit. Riddle gets in. Randy hits the DDT. Riddle hits the floating bro. Their little combo there, and they get the second win in a row. So, yeah, I like it. Coming around here.
For the, they have a little, the RK Bro has a little momentum.
Yeah.
And
versus AJ almost down the line, that could be a pretty high tier feud.
Well, and so I guess we've lost the artist formerly known as the Hurt Business. We've lost them as a tag team. So maybe we replace them with these two kind of guys. Riddle and Orton have too much chemistry to not enjoy it. They're too good together for just having met each other.
Yeah, no, I heard that Orton personally requested to work with Riddle.
And that feels like the kind of thing, I think we may have brought that up a couple weeks ago, where if you're being tagged with Randy Orton, it's because there's a fucking reason. He thinks you're good.
Yeah, he doesn't just get thrown,
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely not, no. Because these are guys, it's fucking Randy Orton, man, Legend
killer. A legend himself.
He has killed legends before.
So when he dies, he's going to have to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But let's get to that match we booked earlier. Sheamus taking on the Raw debut of Mansoor, our Saudi Arabian hero. Sheamus just tries to bully him around, but Mansoor fights back, showing off some nice agility. He looks better than the last time I remember seeing him.
I think last time we would have honestly, I was trying to remember, and I guess it would have been whatever last time we went to Saudi. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Whenever we went to Saudi last.
I think he was on one episode of NXT once, but that might have even been before.
Okay, yeah. I didn't even remember that. You could totally be right. But
yeah, no, he looks good. Gets a couple near falls. Somehow Sheamus got cut open on the forehead. I didn't really see what happened there. But
I also missed
blood. But that only seems to anger Sheamus as he regains control. He looks ready to hit the Brogue kick when Angel Garza comes flying in and attacks Sheamus, causing the disqualification and ruining Mansoor's winning streak. At 49, about to hit 50, you cut it off just like that.
Why? Why?
This was terrible.
Why?
The match was going well.
Oh my god! As soon as when we heard that earlier on the show, it was gonna be Mansoor Sheamus. I was like, oh shit, this guy's gonna win.
Mansoor's going to get a huge win.
There's no way they're bringing this guy in on a 49-match win streak to have him go 49-1. You keep putting him over every time you're going to Saudi because they keep pumping you all this money. I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, I didn't see this coming. This would be a huge surprise. And I think the bigger surprise was that he fucking lost.
Yeah. And with a DQ, they ruin it like that. If you're going to make him lose, I don't know. If we're looking at win-loss columns, if we're looking at the two columns, Mansoor just took the L. But it's, I guess he has the reason to not. It's tainted, yeah.
He has the reason to maybe get a rematch of some kind, maybe lose for real, or the 49-2. Such an odd choice.
I liked everything up till the end there. I was happy. I'm like, cool, give him a shot. Let's see how he does. But
that was like a Kevin Owens moment. That was a Paige moment. It was like, wow, we can still do this and be surprising.
It was like our call up. We didn't really get a big singles call up after WrestleMania, and this was kind of
nothing actually.
Yeah,
I can't think of. Damian Priest was there already.
We had the return of the Viking Raiders, but they were already
there. I'm trying to think if.
And now Eva Marie's coming back, so
even we thought it might be Io, but then she showed up on NXT television.
Yeah, so I don't know. But anyways, at the end, Sheamus Brogue kicks them both to end the segment. So,
so thank God the segment's over.
But now it's time for your favorite segment, Alexa's Playground. But I'll spare you the pleasure. Just more talk about Lily and the trouble that seems to follow.
It's not that okay, first, we know how I feel about the whole way that she's dressed, but it's just, I don't know what to do about this now. We're just, a month away, we're a month after Where is the Fiend, we don't talk about him anymore. And then we just get the same promo we've been getting for the last 3 weeks. Like, what am I supposed to be stoked for?
Didn't we get one episode of Firefly Funhouse with Bray?
No.
And then the puppets were like, yeah, Alexa's a bitch. And he's like, oh. After she turned on him. And then we never saw him again. I feel like that happened.
You feel like that happened? Okay, because I don't remember that happening. Not saying it didn't happen.
Like Abby the Witch was like, that little bitch, calling Alexa.
Okay.
And then he said he was going to reformat the show or something. I don't know. I can't.
Okay, no. You could be right. You could be right. I could just be forgetting right now. But yeah, it didn't add enough of a, and maybe an answer.
Yeah.
What the
Either
hell's
way,
going
this is
on?
more of the same. We just need to see this Lily, wherever she is. I don't know. Bring on Lily. And not the shitty 3D graphic at the end that pops up.
Yeah.
But
more of those photoshopped photos if we could.
Yeah, that was kind of funny, though. But then we're getting a women's tag title match, which we should have got on SmackDown, but we're getting it here. Nia and Shayna take on Lana and Naomi, getting another crack at it. And Lana always looks better, Yeah, she's pulling off some fun moves, some Hurricane Ranas and stuff. Her and Naomi hit the double face buster, but Nia breaks up the pin. And then, of course, Reggie jumps in, distracts the ref. So out of all this bullshit, Baszler gets a hold of Lana in the Kirifuda clutch and taps her out to retain the belts.
To retain, it's gonna have to happen. It's gonna have to be a multi-man thing. Nia, Shayna keep going back and forth between the brands, keep winning. So eventually, all these women are gonna have to come together
Right now.
and do something.
Someone's gotta fucking.
Someone's gonna have to do something. Just before we move on quickly, you were right, Mike. There was he did come back afterwards. Bray Wyatt did, but as like Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, but I remember it did nothing. He was just like, Alexa's me, and I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, and he's gonna do something. And also, the Observer just tears him apart.
Bray?
He won. Okay, get this. So he wins best gimmick in 2019, but then worst gimmick in 2020.
Yeah, that's.
He's won 2 straight worst matches of the year, 2 straight worst feuds of the year, 3 total for both. He has 2 worst worked matches. He's the reigning most overrated. Oh, he has to have this little he has the 2020 trifecta.
So he beat Bobby Lashley, Rusev, Lana for worst story or feud.
Yeah, clearly, because he was too busy with Seth Rollins. Okay. The Fiend has the quad crown of
Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam of Observer. So in 2020, he was awarded the most overrated, the worst gimmick, the worst feud, and the worst match. Wow.
Which match was it in particular?
The match was the Braun Strowman match, Horse Show at Extreme Rules. If we can recall, that was the swamp, the pre-filmed swamp thing.
That's what first got Alexa Bliss involved in all this.
Yeah, the Wyatt Swamp fight. God, going for that Observer Grand Slam. Love seeing it. Records being set on this podcast on a weekly basis at this point.
Well, let's get to this main event here. The coin flip decided it. The almighty coin. Bobby Lashley takes on Braun Strowman, but I do not really give a shit about this match. They're just kind of slugging it out. Drew comes out midway through to do some commentary. So later on, they fight outside. Strowman goes for his big running shoulder tackle, but Lashley avoids it, so he runs right into McIntyre. So then Drew gets in Braun's face, which distracts him. When he turns around, Bobby hits a spear, gets the win. And then right after, Drew comes in and claymores him, and McIntyre stands tall. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, what a weird what a weird main event scene we have on this.
It's like every single person in that match has to lose going into Backlash.
And really, this difference too, kind of when we have the two brands, we are sort of able to look at things like for example, last year the SmackDown Women's Championship scene, that the Bayley Sasha back and forths, that was grade A, 2 thumbs up, Wagyu beef.
Yeah.
But while that was happening, Asuka was doing little to nothing You know, that was a porterhouse at best. Over on the other brand, or is that a good one? Ribeye? What's a shitty steak cut? I don't know.
I mean, to me, any steak is pretty good.
Okay, you know what I mean. Okay, you know what I mean. Okay,
gristle.
Yeah, sure. It's the gristle. The gristle of the steak is over there on Monday Night Raw, and we're hitting this point too over here in our post WrestleMania.
Call it fish heads. We're eating fish heads. A bucket of fish heads.
It's not even steak anymore. It's just fish. Yeah, fucking chopped off fish guts. And this post month after Mania, we're falling into the same thing where the SmackDown main event, like heavyweight championship scene, is a beautiful filet mignon in garlic butter sauce. But over on Monday Night Raw, the heavyweight championship scene is like
a pack of McNuggets.
Yeah, a pack of McNuggets.
And they forgot your sauce.
And you don't even have any Szechuan available. They have no sauce for you. It is so, obviously, hey, comparing the two shows, certainly, but comparisons within WWE, I feel like are a lot easier to make than certainly, you can't compare New Japan and WWE or Impact and AEW, too different to kind of compare each other.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. The Raw and SmackDown, they're so similar but so different in the way that they're laid out and played out.
It's so weird. Like, you think just do what you do on one, but do it on the other, and it would still kind of work. I mean, it's all just good guys and bad guys taking down. It's all just good guys trying to take down the forces of evil, and the evil men, not relinquishing their power. Isn't it?
Sounds a lot like the real world.
Sounds a lot like the real world, doesn't it? But yeah, what a weird way to end Monday Night Raw, I think. Of course, this is the triple threat that we will be getting at WrestleMania Backlash, and I gotta say, 2 weeks of booking Roman Cesaro. Let's say we can make that happen for Backlash. I mean, I know he just got this match, but let's say 2 weeks of booking Cesaro and Roman. I'm way more stoked than this triple threat.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
No,
Give
Roman,
me 2 weeks.
Cesaro, that's my main event.
And and we found out this was going to be a match. What, the Raw after Mania?
Yeah, then they just announced it, and then they're like, "Yeah, Drew, you're in," or I don't know.
It was so bizarre.
And then they threw Strowman in, and the whole thing. It's not that great.
Yeah. Well, that was Monday Night Raw. I hate to say it, but that might have been the best Raw since WrestleMania. It's hard. It's
low
hard
bars.
sometimes.
Yeah, the bars are low.
It's a low bar. But that was it, and that was Monday Night Raw. That was probably the first half of the show. Mike, should we take a break?
Yes, let us.
We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back with our. Of course, we have all of our NXT action, and we are talking about blood and guts. So you're not gonna want to miss it.
Let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah.
Back with part 2 of the podcast here. The rest of the week, the Wednesday Night Wars are no longer wars, but, they still happen. They still happen in, successive nights.
Yeah, they'll still be closely tied together more than, unless AEW starts to beat Raw in the ratings and SmackDown.
Yeah,
until then, these two are closely.
When will that happen? How does that happen, do you think?
I don't know. It would take probably a couple years of pretty steady. I mean, they're about halfway there.
Yeah, they kind of started at halfway there, which is a great place to start. Certainly. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, it'll happen
the
one day.
The whole world of
the
whole world of television is kind of I don't know, the whole with streaming and everything. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it'll happen one day. That inaugural day that AEW will beat either Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, depending when it happens. Who knows? It'll happen one day, and Chris Jericho is going to be there, calling himself like the rating, a different god of some kind.
Something like that.
Which might happen. Who knows? But let's get into the second half of the show, shall we? Because the Wednesday Night War doesn't happen anymore. But we still got to cover both of those shows. So let's kick this one off with our Tuesday special. Of course, we're talking about NXT.
NXT. What does it mean?
I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3. So
That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
that's all you need.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Usually,
we don't need
I
that.
like to preface with a little bit of jazz, but I really got nothing because the show has been pretty consistent ever since both nights of Stand and Deliver, and just excited to see it kind of keep growing.
Yeah, no, we this show itself, it started with no fluff. We just jumped right into a banger. We got Leon Ruff taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott in a Falls Count Anywhere match. So, these two kind of been feuding for a little while now, so let's settle it here. And, we got tons of high-flying action. Ruff just getting thrown all around outside the ring. Some painful landings. He just, jumps upside down into the barricade, lands on his head. But, we get some weapons. They go backstage at one point, come back out. Leon Ruff reverses a superplex off the top rope into a big crucifix bomb. That gets him a big 2 count. But then the crazier spot is when they're on the apron, and Leon Ruff hits a reverse Rana on Swerve off the apron to the floor. That's some crazy stuff.
That's the hardest part of the ring. That's the hardest part of the ring right there.
Onto the floor. That's even crazy.
And that's the hardest part of the landing zones.
Yeah. So, crazy spot. But Scott recovers. He starts running at Ruff, but he avoids it. Swerve slams his knee into the stairs. So Ruff just starts targeting that knee, smashes him with a toolbox, and then he hits a big frog splash for another 2 count. So then he tries to apply a leg lock on that hurt knee of Swerve, and he uses a wrench for extra leverage. But, Swerve hits this big diving, twisting cutter onto the floor. And then eventually, they fight outside to the crowd area. Leon Ruff climbs up on top of this equipment, goes for a big dive, but then this guy named AJ Francis is there to catch him. Do you know who this guy is?
Absolutely not. I was hoping you would.
I do not either, but apparently he's part of the entourage of Swerve. So,
okay.
Yeah, this Francis guy just slams Ruff onto the barricade. Swerve throws him back in the ring, hits the JML to get the win. I thought this was a super hot match.
Super hot. They delivered. They had time. There was action. Either man could have won, and you would have been.
Big bumps, big crazy spots. And this, I think later on afterwards, they show Swerve kind of leaving the building, and he's got this Francis guy and 2 others with him, a woman, and I didn't see who else, but I guess he's got a little posse.
Oh, I'm seeing here AJ Francis, a former NFL football player.
Hey, look at that.
He played for many teams, including the Dolphins twice. So there you go.
So there you have it. He's good in your books.
Yeah, he's good in my books, as far as I'm concerned. It was hot, and Isaiah Swerve Scott keeps
he's rolling
to be like a top heel, rolling up the heel rankings.
Yeah, Swerve Kushida for the Cruiserweight title.
Kind of wherever they want to put him. I would love to, the match I want to see, though. I want to see Leon Ruff and Ricochet in a best sell match. It's not a Hell in a Cell match. No, I'm thinking SELL.
Yeah.
Whoever can sell the best win, and then determined by a panel of judges, and then they win. Because he's fantastic at that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I gotta say.
Then we go backstage. Johnny Gargano, Austin Theory just barge into William Regal's office where he's having a meeting with Scarlett. And then they just kind of make a boob joke as Theory's staring at her, Scarlett. But it's her big nails that he's intrigued by.
Classic.
Then this fella named Asher Hale is in the ring to take on Cameron Grimes.
Oh.
So, this little Hale gets a few moves in, but of course, Grimey makes short work of him, hits the cave-in to get the win.
The cave-in. Classic squash.
Yeah, Grimes, big money, still rich.
We don't need Cameron Grimes doesn't need the squash, though.
Yeah, not really.
Not really. We're past that.
Yeah. Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter are getting interviewed backstage when they're interrupted by Frankie Monet and Little Presley. And she calls them cute and adorable. And she says her and her little dog believe in them. So Frankie Monet still just kind of making the rounds.
Guys, you have to introduce yourself to everybody backstage before you're ready to kind of get involved. So she's right on pace.
Yeah, I'm on board still. Her and Presley. Then we go to Grizzled Young Veterans taking on Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher. We got what you'd expect here. Good back and forth. Lots of mat-based offense, submission holds. A couple men missing teeth.
There was a lot of grisly-looking mugs in this match.
Yeah. But then later on in the match, Tommaso Ciampa steals Wade Barrett's shoe right off of his foot. And then he slips the shoe to the Thatch man, who clocks Gibson in the head with it, and then locks in the armbar for the submission win.
Yeah, physical fun. All four of these guys, they play the match on their face. All of their faces are always so expressive when they're mean, when they're angry, like all that kind of thing. So yeah, we can come back to this match later with larger stakes.
Yeah.
MSK is the tag team champs right now. Mm-hmm. It feels like, these two teams, of course, along with Legado del Fantasma, are the three kind of next in lines, maybe.
Yeah, and they're all pretty on pretty even footing there. MSK, I like them, but they haven't quite gotten over as much as I think.
They've been getting literal boos.
Yeah, I think Triple H probably expected more babyface, but their in-ring action is good. So Either way, the tag division. Let's have some good matches here.
Amen.
Which we know they can, and there's still Imperium hanging around, of course.
Imperium. I think we also saw Everrise try to chat up Cameron Grimes during the show.
Yeah, Everrise, Breezango. You got your jobber teams. Yeah, the tag division is pretty decent. Mm-hmm. Then Karrion Kross and Scarlett come out for a promo, and he just talks about being the champ and looking for worthy challengers to step up. So cool Kyle O'Reilly comes out to answer the call, and he just tells Kross he's not afraid of him and he wants the match. But then Pete Dunne comes out. He wants in. So after he gives his piece, Finn Balor comes out. He runs down everyone like, I beat you twice, I beat you last week. He's just going over it all. But then he takes a swing at Kross, and everyone starts fighting until the security guards have to come out to break everything up. But then Karrion just starts throwing the security all over the place. But then the Way come in, and they jump Kross from behind. So he tries to fight them off, but they wear him down. So that's kind of added an extra wrinkle, throwing the Way in this thing.
And another wrinkle. Yeah, another wrinkle. There was I think they take everyone out with a series of super kicks. They kind of go for that super kick party for a little bit, and then they kind of run out.
Yeah, so the Way could, maybe let Austin Theory go at Kross, try to cover the team in gold. Who knows? Because Johnny's already got his belt.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on around this main event scene. It was hot with Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly. Of course, the entire Adam Cole's entire reign was the hottest thing on the planet. I don't really know where we're going right now because all four of those guys in the ring are the next challengers to me.
Yeah, and I've been lukewarm on Kross, so we'll see where we go.
Yeah, just want to get hot.
Still give it.
Trying to get hot.
Trying to get hot. The stove was on, but we'll see. But let's go to some women's action here. So we got Zeta Ramir, who had an impressive match last week with that shooting star press, but taking on Saray, who also had a nice debut the week before. So something's got to give. But I think between the two, Saray is clearly seen as the bigger star. She's the one that got all the hype. Ramir didn't even get an entrance this week, but she still looked pretty good. She was hanging in. The Saray, though, that Japanese strong style, just stiff suplexes, big kicks. Her finisher, that Saito suplex, looks amazing. Where it's a good slammer on.
Yeah, it's a good maneuver.
Yeah.
It's a good maneuver. You don't see it too often.
Yeah, so she gets the win. Saray off to a good start here in NXT. But, of course, it's the women's division.
But Raymer got the big win over Toni Storm last week, correct?
Yeah, so it was
that was and she kind of got that big deal, and that's a big deal win, I think.
Yeah, I was hoping they'd follow up. But hopefully maybe, I don't know, keep Zeta in the picture. If she's on TV next week for a third week in a row, that's a good sign for her.
And, Mike, just like we were saying, these were two women who had a match, nothing around a title scene Like, it's possible. It's possible
NXT
to be done.
Yeah, sometimes you have 2 or 3 women's matches on a show.
It can be
have a title.
done. Just for everybody out there.
Oh, yeah. There's no denying. Then we go to Jake Atlas taking on LA Knight. The match was fine. Atlas hangs in there. Knight hits the BFT, which looks just like a stunner. It's slightly different, I guess.
Looks very similar to a stunner.
Yeah, he gets the win. But they kind of brought LA Knight in with this hype, but they don't really seem to have much for him.
Yeah, you know what? LA Knight and Ethan Page, I think, are the same guy.
Yeah,
they were
like
guys brought in with a lot of hype, put into something, and a lot of screen time, a lot of time to speak, equal time to wrestle, and then I'm just like, not there yet. I don't know why. I feel like, and they're just like also 2 tanned white guys with dark hair, so I'm like, you're the same guy.
Seems like it.
It seems like it. Yeah, he's a priority here in NXT. Hype, winning matches. Yeah, and he's great at promos, I think, so far.
Yeah, I just don't know what direction he's going right now.
Nah.
But we'll see. We'll keep tabs. But Legado del Fantasma come out next to cut a promo. But then Kushida pops up on the screen to respond, and he challenges Escobar to a cruiserweight title match next week, which will be 2 out of 3 falls. So that's going to be a banger.
That's gonna be huge. We haven't had 2 out of 3 falls match. I think since the era of 2 out of 3 falls matches. It's a cool step, and we don't
add
see
some more drama to the match. Remember that Cole Gargano? That's one of the best matches in NXT history.
One of the best matches in WWE history, I think.
Yeah,
period. Yeah.
But let him main event even if you want next week. Put a big spotlight on that cruiserweight title.
Yeah, that would be important. I think moving it over to Kushida was a big move. So let's put them on the big stage and minimal Legado del Fantasma interference.
Then we get a little split screen interview between Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez to hype up their upcoming title match, which will take place next week. I just remember hearing the word Chiquita a lot in this thing.
Chiquita.
They call each other Chiquita.
Chiquita.
Some little Spanish.
Some kind of Latin,
Latino.
whatever thing.
I don't know.
Latinx.
But the match itself, it'll be fun. Mm-hmm. We'll see that next week. Then we go backstage where Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, they walk up to their tank and they find little Presley sitting inside. And Shotzi responds how I would by just picking him up and, you're so cute. She nuzzles him and then she puts him down and says, okay, off you go, little guy. But then Ember Moon says, not cute. And she points inside the tank. So dog took a shit. These little dogs, they don't give a fuck. They'll shit indoors anywhere.
Oh, my God. Little dogs are the worst. They just shit and piss everywhere.
Those little Pomeranian Chihuahua things, yeah, they're cute as hell, but they don't give a fuck.
They don't care.
But, so no tank tonight. But before we get that main event match, there was a quick little skit of Cameron Grimes. He's at some club trying to get in, saying he's a VIP, but the bouncer tells him that the whole place has been rented out tonight. And then a limousine pulls up, and out comes the $1 Million Man once again. Ted DiBiase, who laughs in his face.
Great to see Ted DiBiase back on the show.
Yeah, the feud continues, but, they can't wrestle, right?
I don't think so.
Ted
He's probably, early 70s?
But, hey, this could bring back the $1 Million Championship. That could be cool.
Yeah, why not?
Grimes got to carry that up.
Why not? We have, I haven't seen the 24/7 title.
It's the FTW title of WWE.
It really is. Nobody cares about the FTW title. I haven't seen the 24/7 Championship, I think, since WrestleMania. We might as well bring in another title that nobody cares about.
$1 Million Grimes.
Yeehaw!
But let's get to this main event here. We're getting those NXT Women's Tag titles on the line. Ember and Shotzi taking on Indy and Candice. And so Ember and Shotzi walk out for the first time. No riding in that poop tank.
The shit tank.
The shit
tank.
But they did have some nice Freddie and Jason gear going on. Shotzi being Freddie, Ember being Jason.
Shotzi's
a huge horror fan. She loves it.
Yeah.
any time of the year. It doesn't have to be October.
It doesn't have to be.
But they get right into the weapons here because I forgot to mention. Did I mention it's a street fight? It's a street fight.
Did I mention a street fight? Yeah, we got we got a street fight over here at the CWC.
Yeah, so weapons. Early on, we get the trash can. Amber and Shotzi shove the can on top of Indy, and then they hit a nice double drop kick, crushing her in between. Not quite the crush of Io Shirai got, but still a good little
Still
spot.
a good little crush. But yeah, that I mean, I have nightmares of that happening to me. I'm stuck in a garbage can, and then somebody lands right on top of it.
Boom. Then we get the good old chair table set up. And then this time they add a fifth chair on top of it.
Oh my god!
So they're going crazy. Something crazy is going to happen. They put Indy Hartwell sitting down on it. Shotzi hits the rope. She's ready to go for a crazy suicide dive. But then goddamn Candice interrupts it by spraying her in the face with a fire extinguisher. Because I know Shotzi would have gone for that, and that would have been a crazy fucking move.
Of course she would have.
But save it for a takeover.
Candice LeRae, I think after the match may have said, "Never fucking do that again." Because Candice LeRae, she has to be like she's in charge. She's the locker room leader.
She's the mom.
She's the mom of the NXT Women's Division.
I mean that with all respect.
Oh, of course. I mean, like, and there's no even nothing really. Mike, we agreed on that statement.
I know. I'm saying if she's listening,
which she is. She is the elder stateswoman of the NXT Women's Division, and I'm sure she may have had something to say about that spot.
Yeah, but so they she just destroys the chair table after that. She's like, that's not going to happen. So we do get more weapon play though. Lots of chairs are flung around. We get the ladder set up horizontally across the barricade to the ring, and Candice is laid out on top. And then Shotzi hits a big senton off the top rope, crashes through Candice, breaks the ladder. And then on the other side, back in the ring, Amber slams Indy Hartwell into the table, but the table doesn't break. Or just kind of slammed her.
These tables over here in NXT, I have no clue what's going on with them.
And I even heard the ref. She was like, "Are you okay?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. She went up, but she seemed okay. She was fine. So some more crazy action. They get another ladder in the ring, and then this time they lay Shotzi on the ladder, and then Indy picks up the other end. So they got it laid out again, and then Candice hits the springboard moonsault off the ropes onto Shotzi on the ladder, but she came down at a pretty high angle here. I was scared. High risk, but it looked good.
High risk, look good.
But we're not done there. Shotzi and Indy, they fight outside the ring. This time, Indy gets laid out on the announce table. Shotzi climbs up the nearby piece of the lighting structure. She gets up top, and then she hits a big diving cross-body splash off the top, breaking through Indy and the announce table. But that's still not it. We got more tables, because Ember Moon is set up on the other side of the ring on a table on the floor. And then Indy Hartwell hits a nice springboard elbow drop off the top to the floor, breaking Ember and the table. So Ember's out. We're getting to the end here. Candice has Shotzi all alone in the ring. And then she hits the Wicked Stepsister face first onto a chair. So that's a devastating maneuver. And that puts it to bed. Candice gets the 3 count to win the match. And her first ever championship in NXT.
Her first.
Along with Indy.
Wow.
So, hey, new tag champs. Probably Indy's best match I've ever seen for her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they celebrate, close the show. This was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, brutal to say the least. Yeah, and it's great. This match was 15 and a half minutes, Mike, and they knew their way. We're gonna have to do something if we want these.
We're gonna break 3 tables within
if we
that
want,
time,
and it was
and
just spot after spot, progressively, and like each one was getting a little wilder as it went. Yeah, Shotzi Blackheart, though. I mean.
She's gonna do that on a takeover one time.
She's gonna do a lot of shit on takeovers for the next little while. But God, a few of her spots still look terrifying.
She's reckless. She's crazy.
She is reckless, and maybe because she's the most reckless.
But I mean it in a good way. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I mean,
like she's Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, exactly. All 4 of these women are sore today. That is 100%. That being said, Candice LeRae, it's about damn time that you have a championship here in NXT. You know, while you and Indy Hartwell still developing as a team. Just a great, it's great to see one of these NXT veterans come across with some gold eventually, and just fingers crossed that she does not also suffer from the Gargano curse.
Hopefully not. I mean, so far these NXT tag titles have had short reigns, but it doesn't even bother me because they've all been good matches. And yeah, everything's good. Shotzi will get the belt back at some point.
Yeah, well, we have, this is we've had 6 winners, or 3 different teams for this championship.
Yeah, 3
already.
teams. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's fun. We've been waiting for it for years, and they're making the most of them now that they finally have the belts.
And because we have the bodies, these belts are being tossed around more than the main roster women's tag team championships, and producing better matches. Like these 3 matches that I can think of, because I think Raquel and Dakota were given the belts. Like the night after there was like that sketchy finish with Nia and Shayna, but then the match with Ember and Shotzi, that was bomb. And then they had this bomb. Like, the 2 matches for these championships have been better than the past year of the main roster women's championship.
Yeah, definitely.
Wild, eh? At least since Kabuki Warriors were there.
Yeah,
they were the
since
last
Kyrie
memorable kind of thing. I know Bayley and Sasha were there in the middle, but that was kind of overshadowed by Bayley just being herself anyways. But yeah, and that's how we kind of faded out our NXT. What an incredible show. Yeah,
great show. You had 2 amazing matches, and all the stuff in between was good. So, yeah.
Well, let's move on because we've been waiting for it for nigh 14 months now. We started off the show by mentioning, of course, let's just get to it. We're talking about AEW.
AEW. All elite. They coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
Where, God, I always have fun things to say, but then I always, here it is. I know what I was gonna say. On Wednesday, March 25th, live at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, we have the Inner Circle versus the Elite in a blood and guts match. Of course, we're talking about Chris Jericho. We're talking about Jake Hager. We're talking about Sammy Guevara. We're talking about Santana Ortiz taking on the Bucks, Kenny, Adam, Cody. What could possibly go wrong? A lot of stuff went wrong.
Yeah, the world.
The world went wrong, Mike. And now, all this time later, 14 months, yeah, there, I said it, we are coming at you with Blood and Guts, finally, which it's like a War Games.
I mean, throughout the night, they were pretty much calling it War Games. They were saying Blood and Guts was invented by Cody's father, and this is...
I love it. All factual. Everything they said was flat factual.
No. In the court of law, no.
Oh, okay. In the court of law. What is that?
This is the first ever Blood and Guts match, is it not?
Yes.
So there you go. How could Cody's father have invented Blood and Guts?
Maybe because he wrote it on a little pad of paper, and when Cody was going through his stuff...
No, they just didn't want to say War Games. They didn't want to say... I get it. It was just...
Trying to give him all the credit without actually saying anything. But before the show even starts, Mike, I'm getting Twitter and Instagram kind of notifications, live videos being filmed from Daly's Place in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Did you see this? Did you hear about this? So here's how it goes. Tony Khan comes out and says, yo, everybody, what's up? This is great. Fantastic. Thank you for being here. This is going to be monumental. You are our fans. However, I got to say, while Blood and Guts, the matchup between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, will be live, the first half of the show is actually pre-taped. You will be watching it here on the screen, but your noise will be what the fans hear at home. Mixed reviews. As soon as he kind of said that, I'm watching this video too. I'm like, what? He's coming out here and saying it. Vince would never do that. And then Tony Khan goes one step further and says, if you want a refund, you have 45 minutes to get it. What? Vince would never offer a refund for dissatisfaction of product?
I mean, he has.
Maybe if you attended that Raw 25 and you chanted bullshit for 32 straight minutes. But yeah, so first half pre-taped. Blood and Guts live. I mean, obviously, kind of they don't have the WWE technology to kind of bring in multiple rings and to easily set things up. And I think I think it was generally well received. It feels like a lot of people who were there were kind of on board with it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was already there, I'm like, oh, whatever. You bought the ticket for the main event anyways.
Nobody bought a ticket for Blood and Guts because they were stoked on Cody and QT. Although we did, we did get the match.
You'd prefer
anyways.
2 hours of live wrestling, but at the end of the day, you know what the ticket you bought was for.
Of course, you know what's happening. So let's just get to.
But I mean, yeah, there would be some confusion that people that would get there and be like, aw, but I wouldn't have left. I wouldn't have got a refund. I would have just stayed.
Yeah, I wonder how many people will get refunds. But either way, let's get into the night because, of course, we know that's going to be our main event. But we have an hour of pre-taped action here for you, and we kick off with a big one. It was our tag team match that was announced last week. Of course, we had Moxley and Eddie Kingston taking on Kenny Omega, and they're calling him MT Nakazawa these days.
Where'd the T come?
I don't know. I noticed it last week and thought maybe I heard something odd because I thought Michael Nakazawa. Maybe we'll look into that for next time.
Maybe his middle name is
a middle name or something. But MT Nakazawa, who shows up in his headset and his all
he just looks like a backstage worker.
Polo.
He's always wearing AEW gear.
He's always wearing that kind of shit. But we get our nice Moxley Kingston through the crowd entrance, and it seems like there's a lot of people there. Maybe even like 50%. There seemed like a lot of people were there.
Yeah,
of
think
course.
They sold a lot of tickets for this.
Just a couple weekends ago, Machine Gun Kelly played a sold-out concert at Daly's Place, so they're clearly doing it. We're just finding a way to make it happen.
I mean, double or nothing. They probably could sell it out. If MJK just did, why can't they?
Why not exactly? But we do kick off with this tag team matchup.
Yeah, but right before, Don Callis comes out and says Kenny Omega is unable to attend. So Nakazawa will wrestle by himself.
Uh-oh.
But it's all a ruse, of course. So Kenny appears. He attacks. The match was fine. Nothing too crazy because eventually I think Omega's just had enough. He just leaves Nakazawa on his own. So he gets double teamed, and Mox and Eddie hit the old half and half suplex lariat combo to get the win.
That's great.
And then afterwards, the Young Bucks come out on the ramp, but it's all a distraction because the Good Brothers slide in, attack from behind, and they beat everyone down, and then they hoist Eddie up on Omega's shoulders so he can hit the one-winged angel.
That was not good. Yeah, I guess, I mean, Omega is our cowardly heel. He evades as much contact as possible before the 6-on-2 beatdown of our baby faces. I don't care about the Good Brothers. Is that just me?
Yeah, they don't seem like much of anything
like
right
their
now.
presence on All Elite Wrestling television is like, I don't want to say nothing, but I don't know, at least seeing Matt Jackson in a funny outfit take off his shoes to give a super kick, like that's something.
Yeah, I don't know. But let's go to Cody Rhodes taking on QT Marshall. Let's just get it over with. Cody takes off his belt, and he's ready to smack QT with it, but the ref stops him, takes it away. But then QT grabs his own belt and slaps Cody with it. But the ref doesn't call for DQ. He just says, "Hey!" and throws the belt away.
The old switcheroo? Is that what the old switcheroo is?
Well, I mean, the ref saw it. He didn't DQ him, so...
It's bizarre, man.
I don't know. Anyways, and then later on, QT shoves Arn Anderson, and then Arn punches QT right in the face, right in front of the ref. And then he starts grinding Marshall's head into the ring post. But still no disqualification. They just get a team of refs to restrain Arn and take him out. So this is, I mean, I complained about disqualifications, but there's got to be some rules here, folks.
Yeah, feels a bit all over the place. And, I mean, AEW officiating is classically confusing.
JR calls him out a lot.
Yeah,
like, well, god damn, it's a tag match.
Yeah, I think actually during that intro tag match that we had, JR asks Tony Schiavone if it is a Texas tornado tag, because the ref's doing nothing and Omega and Nakazawa are in there just doing whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, no, it's funny, but anyways, we get back into the ring. QT hits Cody with a crossroads for a 2 count. And then a great sequence here when both men are going for tombstone pile drivers, and they just keep flipping over one another reversing it 3 times in a row before Cody finally hits the tombstone. That was cool. That should have been the finish for me. No one should kick out.
Felt like it. They kept doing that, flipping over each other eventually to get it. But
and I mean, a tombstone from Cody, that's a pretty rare sight to see. But anyways, then he hits the crossroads, and QT kicks out of that. I wasn't expecting that. But then Cody pulls out his final move, the figure 4 leg lock. And then he started to bleed near his eye. I don't even know where that came from.
I missed that. There was a lot of blood this week that I missed.
Yeah. I mean, a lot was intentional, but a lot of it was accidental.
I swear I blink, and I just missed it.
But he got the submission win here. So Cody wins. And then afterwards, that Anthony Ogogo comes out, hits Cody with the 1 punch to the body, the bolo shot. And then he lays the Union Jack flag over top of him.
Who has to be a fighter at this point, right? He has to be.
I think they said bronze medal Olympic.
Okay,
boxer.
yeah. So yeah,
but they're really putting over that punch.
And really putting over a go-go, Cody Rhodes and his feud with his former factory. But it feels weird that he beat the leader right out of the gate, and now maybe he's taken on like the promising Brit.
I mean, they let QT kick out of a crossroads. I thought, okay, why not go all the way? Let him win the match, because now he lost and it's kind of all.
Bit of a weird choice, but I got to say, I was, I think, at least kind of surprised by QT Marshall's. I feel like we never watch him. We never really think about it too much.
Yeah, the match was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, match was better than I thought it would be, which I think is saying something, which is great.
Yeah. Then we go to Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. They're being interviewed up in the rafters when Darby Allin attacks them and just starts jumping off of everything, climbing off the walls. But he's outnumbered. They beat him down, and then they throw him down a flight of concrete stairs. There's no faking that bump. He just took it.
He took it throughout the entire commercial break. He was sitting there recovering while we were playing picture in picture.
And I'm glad I got the feed with commercials, because it'll come into a very important play in the main event.
Yeah, it does come into play because, of course, Tony Khan didn't pay for the commercial break list. I think all eyes are on Scorpio Sky right now for kind of, can he be the one to dethrone whatever his name is. You know what his name is.
Yeah. Darby.
Darby Allin. There you have
he did, because it's almost been completely forgotten when he won that brass ring match, right? And then he lost his title shot the next week.
Yes, yeah, I know. I do. I guess I do recall that. But yeah,
the giant gold Cheerio.
Right, that's what it was. It's such a weird. Well, I mean, what do you choose when you?
I don't know. They just love giant props.
Love props over there at All Elite Wrestling.
But then we go to the women's action. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on Julia Hart, who has no association with the Hart family. You think you'd pick a different name.
You think if you're, it's like there's a few names like Mysterio and Hart and Guerrero. There's a few that you just
a few just like legendary family names that you think.
Yeah,
hey, whatever.
I mean, unless it's your real name, then maybe it's like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it. It could be, but even then. A lot of wrestlers don't use their real name.
No, I'm pretty sure the Hart family has a legacy contract with WWE. It's just like they're just allowed to keep using the whole family.
Yeah. Well, we also find out that it's official, if we didn't already know, Britt Baker taking on Hikaru Shida for the title at Double or Nothing. So, hey, I mean, I know it's not going to be, but for me, that's my main event.
Which is weird. I thought that this week Britt Baker would somehow be kind of like a qualifier match for the Double or Nothing thing.
I mean, she's
and then she
was already.
I mean, she already is number one, and then they kind of told us. I was like, oh, okay. I thought she was going to get it anyways, but
they could have told us after this match. I think just when she's added another notch.
Yeah, just after that fucking lockjaw. Blep.
Yeah, because that's exactly we know what's going to happen here. She dominates, gets the lock.
Of course, it was like a minute and a half. But yeah, I mean, God, it has to happen. It has to happen.
It has to.
Britt Baker has to get the win, and truly bring this women's division, which is like full of promise, right? We still have Thunder Rosa creeping around, Ty Conti, Red Velvet. We still have all the Jade Cargill has kind of been off television
ever since. ever since that women's eliminator tournament, they've been pretty consistently good.
Yeah, we can rebuild them. We do have the technology.
And Baker she's the one to build around. She's your centerpiece.
Exactly.
The star
Star of the show.
of the division.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to pop up on Jimmy Fallon, Hikaru Shida or Britt Baker?
Oh, Britt Baker.
Exactly. Fatal 4-way tag match here. We got Varsity Blondes, Jurassic Express, SCU, and the Acclaimed. I think you said you looked up the song that Jurassic Express had.
They had a non wrestling made song.
Yeah. Do you recognize the band or remember anything? I can't remember.
No, I forget. I forgot immediately after I read them.
Like right
yeah,
away,
because I didn't know who they were in the first place.
Some of the crowd knew it though. They were like singing along
Okay.
with the little. But anyways, we got a nice multi-man tag match. These 4 teams happen to be the top 4 ranked in the division. This determines who faces the Young Bucks for the titles next week. But SCU, they're the ones. They've got it all on the line. Is it their career or just their team that they put on the line if they lose?
I think
match?
it was their team. Like they will never
that makes more
wrestle
sense.
together again.
Yeah, SCU will be done. So, but lucky for them, they hit the BME, get the win here. So they're getting at least one more week. So they get the title shot next week.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, the big title shot that we were kind of that we were working towards.
Yeah, it's that or nothing.
Yeah.
Then we bring out Tony Schiavone, and he gets his guest Kenny Omega because they're here to make an announcement regarding the AEW World Title match at Double or Nothing. And Kenny comes out, says, he's got Nakazawa with him holding his other 3 belts. And Kenny's bragging about all the gold he's got when Tony announces that Pac will face Orange Cassidy next week with the winner to face Omega at Double or Nothing. But then Omega cuts him off, insults Orange Cassidy, so Cassidy comes out, but Kenny just insults him some more, takes his sunglasses off his head, and puts them on Nakazawa. Then they just talk more trash and leave.
It was the first, the first time that we saw those Impact and TNA championships, he doesn't bring out that AAA belt either, so that was nice to see.
Yeah, nice to see them all on TV. A little surprising. I wouldn't have guessed that those were the 2 to be going for Double or Nothing's title.
Those are the 2 up there on the rankings, you know?
I guess, yeah, they're going by that.
That's what the ranking system's for.
I mean, they'll be good matches either way.
I mean, I don't know which one I would want more. Kenny Pac, banger, but Kenny and Orange Cassidy would be a banger too. I don't know which one would be banger more banger.
But you think either way, it's the main event?
Of Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for it not to be.
Yeah, I know.
Although...
Even though I want Britt Baker.
If this is Britt Baker's time, I would love for that to be the main event, but it still kind of feels... I mean, it's Kenny... He has all the gold. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah. But it just feels like if Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy, you just feel going in that Orange Cassidy has no chance.
Yeah. Hey?
But, I mean, either way, the match is going to be awesome. No matter who he faces.
Yeah.
But there's still one more thing before the main event, because Miro comes out to cut a quick promo, and he's in a serious mood, and he has signed a contract for a TNT title match against Darby next week, which I think that could be the biggest challenge yet for Darby.
Yeah, he won't be fully healed. He was just thrown down a set of concrete stairs. He's going to be kind of coming into this a little hobbled.
I mean, there's a chance Miro walks away with this
Miro
thing.
is a wrecking ball.
Now that he's he's abandoned the video game stuff. He's focused.
But Darby Allin, though, I don't know. He's been such a great champion bringing us through this time where, like, he's the only belt that's been on the line for the past months. I mean, Hikaru Shida's been nothing. I mean, the Bucks don't really... They're not involved in the tag scene because they're more involved in this kind of larger schemed thing, and Kenny has had a few title defenses. I mean, Darby is really carrying the championship legacy of All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, certainly right now. But let's get to it. It's time for Blood and Guts. We got the double cage, of course, the double cell structure. Roof on the top. Both Yeah, the match starts. 2 men in the ring, 5 minutes. And then after that, someone comes in, and then 2 minutes in between each entrance. The Pinnacle, they won the parlay, so they have the advantage of coming out first. And the match doesn't start till everyone's in the ring, and at that point, it can only be won by submit or surrender. So let's get this thing going. The Inner Circle, they come out. They got their matching prison gear jumpsuits on.
Which I didn't get. I didn't get it. Are they doing a bit?
I don't know. I guess they just thought it looked cool.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they were doing a bit, because if they were, I didn't get it.
I think it's just, hey, let's match. But Dax Harwood and Sammy Guevara start off the match. But we already knew Guevara, he volunteered himself. So, but these two, they started up real good. They come out hot. Sammy's fired up. But yeah, the one thing that's always kind of weird is like the walls of the cage. They're not like fully, I don't know, they don't seem as weighted on the bottom as like the cell. Like when they climb onto them, it like moves out of it.
It really felt like it was moving.
Like it's loose.
Yeah.
It's like loose. It's kind of weird, but it's still solid enough.
I mean, I guess it's all going to be different, you know?
Yeah. And there's room between the cage and the ropes, like we said.
But not enough to walk around. It's just like
there was like it's like on the one side.
It's like an extended apron.
Yeah, it's not even on every, like the one side there was like a little platform, but then the other side was like a crack you could fall down. Anyways, it's a cool looking structure. But so Sammy just starts slamming Dax head into the wall of the cage multiple times, and it busts him open. We get our first blade job of the night, and it's pretty good. He was covered red pretty quick.
Oh my god! Eventually, I couldn't tell who was who because there was so much.
Yeah, everyone was just red by the end of this thing, but. 5 minutes go by. The next member's in. Sean Spears comes in next. He's got his chair. So Sammy's kind of against himself. 2 guys here. And then Sean Spears hits Guevara with a vicious chair shot right to the head, which I thought those were banned.
That was either to the head or a very good. They did a very good job.
I don't know. There was at least one that was straight to the head in this match. There was a couple. But either way, I thought after the Cody incident, they were kind of shying away. But, I mean, it looked good if it was done safely.
Well, he is the chairman. We know what he's going to do.
He is the chairman. But then, luckily for Sammy, the clock ticks away, and Ortiz is in next, and he's on fire. He's just chucking chairs at people. And then an impressive spot here when both Sean Spears and Sammy, they both go for springboards at the same time, and they just kind of meet in the middle while balancing on the top of the ropes. They're grappling onto each other, and then Ortiz chucks a chair at Spears' back, which knocks him forward into Sammy, smoothly into a Spanish fly off the rope. That was crazy.
Baby, that was our first "This is awesome"
like,
chant.
Shit.
That was our first "Holy shit," and it was like so well deserved. That was such a cool spot.
Few people could pull that off.
Such a cool spot.
Yeah, that was awesome. But then Sammy, I think he got a little overly ambitious. As soon after that, he goes for like another springboard move, but he botched it. He just kind of slipped and fell.
Yeah, commentary had to sell a little bit of a knee, and like, I must buy that chair to the knee. Had to sell it a bit.
And then Sammy, he was bleeding as well from his head. Not quite as bad as some of the others, but he was cut. We got, by the end of the match, 7 out of 10 men were bleeding.
Yeah, you counted for us?
Yeah.
Perfect.
But we'll get to that because Cash Wheeler comes in next. And then FTR hit the big gory special to Ortiz. He just kind of falls down between the cage wall, the crack he's stuck. But then the clock runs down again. Santana comes in. He gets some barbed wire. He just kind of wraps it around, starts punching, which gives Wheeler an excuse to blade. So now he's bleeding, and his was coming out pretty good. So tons of blood, but no guts has been spilled yet, thankfully.
So far, no guts. No clue where that barbed wire came from.
I think they had them hidden in their prison gear.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Maybe that was the reason they had it.
Looking for a shiv next. Somebody's going to get shanked.
And then Wardlow comes out next. And yeah, thankfully, you and I were both watching the feed without commercials. Because a lot of this match, they're like, we're going to break. And then you'd miss some pretty cool spots.
We'll be back in picture-in-picture.
Yeah. Wasn't even picture-in-picture, though, the one I watched.
Oh.
How about you?
No, I watched the like the after the fact.
Like there's commentary, there's everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, Wardlow comes in. They try to gang up on him, but he's just tossing bodies around, especially Sammy. He bumps great for him. He just flings them all around. But then 2 minutes later, Jake Hager comes in, and he's running wild. He gets Harwood in the ankle lock, and he taps out. But it does not matter because the match hasn't started yet. So Hager and Wardlow, they have their big man showdown until the final member of the Pinnacle, MJF, he gets into the ring. He's just talking trash, laying a beat down. We cut to Wheeler, who's bleeding even more, and he's just covered in blood. But we get the final countdown as the last member, Chris Jericho, enters the ring. The match can now officially begin. So we get the big standoff, both teams kind of squaring off in each ring. And yeah, interesting. Like we said, the heels are wearing white and the faces are wearing black.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a little weird. But Jericho's got that smile on his face that just lets me know how happy he is. So.
Oh, yeah. When they're singing Judas.
He's selling it to me alone and himself.
So everyone's in the match. This becomes a big brawl. Jericho's just swinging his bat around everywhere. Jericho and Shawn Spears climb up the wall of the cage. And then he just kind of shoves Spears' head. Gets him stuck in the metal truss there for a minute. But then FTR, on the other side, they just start tearing away at the ring canvas, exposing the wood, the hard boards underneath. And then Shawn Spears, he just starts unlocking the turnbuckle. They're just tearing this ring apart. But they're the ones who get beaten up, and Santana Ortiz get a hold of him and hit spike pile drivers onto the exposed wood with the assist of Sammy jumping off the broken rope to make it a triple pile driver. He almost slipped too.
Don't see those too often.
Yeah, that was cool. And then a bit after, Sammy hits the coast to coast, kicking a chair right into Shawn Spears' face. And then Jericho grabs the broken turnbuckle and nails MJF in the head with the steel part of it, which gives MJF the excuse to blade. So now he's bleeding.
the excuse, like he needed one.
So he's bloody. Inner Circle holds him up. And then Ortiz pulls out a fork. And then he just starts gouging away at him like Abdullah the Butcher.
No clue where that one came from.
I think that was in the trunks.
Okay, that was in the trunks too. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's gouging him. Jericho hadn't bladed yet, but his tan was dripping off his face. I don't know if you can see that. So there's some brown little smudges coming down.
Funny.
But,
that's funny.
And then one scary spot in the match when so the ring was all torn up, and Jake Hager comes running at Wardlow, who picks him up, and they kind of slip. Hager nearly gets dropped on his head. Because I think it was from that ring foam that was just kind of loosely on there. They kind of slipped.
Oh, okay. I think I must have missed that. That one spot.
Yeah. Well, thankfully everyone was okay. But right after, they nail Wardlow in the head with a chair, and that one seemed like it was just right on the head. Boom. But anyways, we cut back outside the ring where Tully is starting to cause some trouble. He attacks the ref, steals the key, and opens the door to the cage. So MJF decides to go out the door. And then he scales up the side onto the roof. But then Jericho goes out after him. And he milks it. He milks it from the crowd. He's stopping. He's waiting for air. Building up the anticipation as he's climbing up the cage to go after Maxwell. So at this point, you could hear stuff going on underneath, but I don't think we got another shot of what was going on in the ring.
No, we didn't. We did not.
So both men on the roof now. MJF's begging for mercy. Jericho pounds away, locks him in the walls of Jericho, but MJF hits him with a low blow to escape. And then he puts Jericho in the salt of the earth, but Jericho won't tap out. So he works him over some more, pulls out the diamond ring, puts it on, and punches Jericho in the face with it. Which, of course, now it's a time Jericho gets his little blade out. And this one you could really see on camera. He just a quick little swipe.
Just a quick one.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort. He's dripping blood. MJF yells at him. And then he looks over the edge of the cage as if to contemplate throwing Jericho off the top. So he grabs a hold of him. They're at the edge, and he just yells down back to the Inner Circle, "If you don't surrender, I'm throwing him off the top." They're all trying to talk him out of it. Finally, Sammy says, "We surrender! We surrender!" So there you have it. The Pinnacle have won the first ever Blood and Guts match.
Sammy Guevara saving his mentor just in time.
Or so he thinks. Because afterwards, MJF picks up Jericho. And then he shoves him backwards off the roof of the cage as Jericho crashes through the stage. which Excalibur calls concrete, but we can all clearly see it's a crash pad with some
It's
wood.
a crash pad to look like it's metal, which I thought was pretty cool. It looked like it was
yeah,
like
but
that like grate like thing. That's pretty cool.
I thought it looked not that good
okay.
though. The actual metal part, I don't know. But I mean, the bump was great. The crash, I just thought they could have done a bit better covering it up. But either way, from the top of the bloody cage, MJF yells "Thank you," and he celebrates as the medical staff attend to Jericho. But no, great match. They gave it all.
Everybody gave it all. It was bloody, physically
Bloody
intense. The match built. Great performances out of everyone. Dax and Cash were fantastic. They knew when to bump, when to kind of take a bump for like maximum efficiency of the match like that. Sammy Guevara, of course, our steadfast, beloved babyface, with his guts and fearlessness.
Yeah, I guess he was the guts in Blood and Guts.
Yeah, he was the heart that pumped the blood to the guts. That being said, you're doing a big thing like this on television for the first time. There's going to be some problems. I think with about 10 minutes left in the match, it became clear to me that they needed to kill time. I noticed that about, I kind of felt like to slow down a little bit. Maybe that spot off the top I thought was a lot of fun. And, the bump was great.
I just didn't like the close-up where you could see how cheesy the metal looked. It was just like thin wood with a flat
if he
picture of metal
had
on
fallen
top.
a little bit further.
I think it was most of the camera of anything. If the camera just showed like a long shot, him falling.
Yeah, especially because we had just seen like an hour earlier Darby Allin being legitimately thrown down concrete stairs.
Real concrete.
But Jericho, he's like 50 years old, man.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the bump. I just I saw a bit of online backlash to the construction
haters
of the
gonna
set.
hate. As far as I'm concerned, but and a match like this, far more positives than negatives.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 7 out of 10 men bladed.
Everybody here loved the match. I think in terms of becoming a yearly AEW thing, 100%. 100%.
I mean,
maybe not even yearly, bi-yearly.
Yeah, I don't think it won't be scheduled like War Games is.
No, less scheduled, but this will be something that we will come back to, and this will always be the first one, which is very important.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they were supposed to be in it. You're going to get one with Omega, Cody, the Bucks, Hangman. So
I don't even know if they would want to.
Maybe
anymore.
with the Dark Order, Dark Order with Hangman.
Exactly,
versus,
something like that. You can still kind of find 5 people and throw them into something and make it worthwhile. Like a Team Taz versus the Dark Order, or kind of build a bit of feud there or something like that. I mean, here we just booked it. Literally just booked it. That was it, though. That was our Blood and Guts. That was our AEW, and that was all of our wrestling action for the week.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you got a lot of good matches this week. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, seriously was. A lot to pick from because, of course, we have to crown a brand new Wrestler of the Week.
It's the Wrestler of the Week, of the week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the week, of the week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the week, of the week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the week, of the week. The Wrestler of the Week.
Mike, I'm going to kick it to you.
All right. Multiple good matches to choose from. But I'll just go with it. It's been a long time coming, and this week she's a double champ because I'm giving it to Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, the new women's tag champs and new Wrestler of the Week.
The way.
The way, if you will.
I like it. Might also be the first time a women's tag team has had a name, or at least since the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah. We had the Kabukis, the Iconics, and now
the way. Of course, because the role models never quite went there. The golden role models.
No.
That was never quite.
And I guess Bliss Cross was kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of a
that's
name.
Just kind of their names,
that's kind of just their names.
Yeah. So that's the way. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, that was congratulations for all of that. My wrestler of the week, I'm going a little bit differently, just because, Mike, there was too much blood to not be drawn to Blood and Guts. What we have been waiting for over a year. The match was a lot of fun. It did not disappoint. We do not get to see the large, let's call it War Games. Sure, that's fine. You still don't get to see it too often. Every time we see a War Games match, we're always like, damn, I wish we saw more War Games matches. And we did. And we got the AEW version. My wrestler of the week this week is going to none other than the demo god, Chris Jericho. I wish, leading... So it was really funny. Original Blood and Guts, he was going to be heading up the biggest heel faction on the planet. Now, he's still in Blood and Guts, but he's the babyface. You can see it on it. You can see the smile. He's playing into it well. And God, I wish that I could fall back 20 feet when I'm 50 years old. That takes a lot of guts. There you have it. We saw the blood on the ring, and it took some fucking guts to fall off that cage. Putting over MJF. Like, if there's one guy who's going to keep putting over MJF, it's going to be Chris Jericho. He's made a career in AEW of putting this kid over. And, he may be out for a little bit, but it's definitely not the last we've seen of the Demo God. You are the wrestler of the week.
Sounds good. Good way to close out a good week of wrestling.
It really was. And that's all the time we have for the show this week, folks. Remember, tune in next week because we do have our Backlash kind of predictions going on. We do have an IWGP US title match on All Elite Wrestling next week.
We got multiple title matches next
So
week.
everyone's going to want to tune back in for that. You can rate, review, like, and subscribe because the podcast is everywhere. And that's all the time we have for the week.
That's all, folks.
Okay, Mike, you take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you later.
See ya.